Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again on a Friday morning. My name is Angela Olmos. I'm a full-time realtor in the Northeast Florida area. I'm with Momentum Realty. And my co-host, Delaney Bravo, is here with us with Fiber Mortgage. How are you doing today, Delaney?
I am good. And we kind of always run through the topics we're going to chat about before the show. And these are two really, really solid, good topics. So I'm excited to get into them. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. Today is a celebration day. Today we have a closing. And I'm so grateful for that. Yes. So, Delaney and I work together, on helping our buyers secure their financing and their mortgages and, all the right terms for their purchase of their home. And we've had a closing. So that is fantastic. I'm so grateful for that. I think that's worth celebrating.
Yes. And it's, for me, this job is stressful. Like it can be stressful. A lot of jobs can, but what I will say is when you get those messages from a homeowner that you just closed, just telling you, thank you, how you went above and beyond. And she texted me yesterday saying she cannot believe how smooth the process was and that you were an absolute gem. So, that makes it all worth it. So yes, a day to celebrate. And if you're looking to buy, we can do the exact same thing for you, a smooth process and get you where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just to share a quick story with you guys, this is someone that was moving from out of town. We get a lot of job reloads here in Jacksonville. So, this could be a message for anyone. You could be listening to us from, another state or another city. But anyway, so if you're looking to relocate to Jacksonville, we got this done in less than a month. Didn't we?
Yes. And I have to give you a shout out because literally she had the customer and within 2 days from their initial meeting, she was already under contract on the home and we did a 30-day closing and we actually moved it up for her to be able to close and have the weekend to move in. So it is possible. It doesn't have to be painful. And I'm going to chat a little bit more about that as far as the lender you use and the method you do it makes a difference. So excited. And you really busted your tail to get her under contract and ready to she was ready to go and we got it done.
Well, I'm so glad that I could do that. And, probably one of the most rewarding things is that we're making a difference in someone's life. Like her whole lifestyle now is going to be better, and it would be in in the city where now she's got a new job and it's just good all around. So I'm excited. Okay, but here's what we prepared for you guys. Okay, so I want to share with you my blog today, which let me just make sure that I have that here. Can you guys see that? Is that coming through okay, Delaney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So we want to talk about, the concern about buying a home when inflation is rising. And it's a legitimate concern. And I hear this often with buyers, as, wanting to get into it, but still kind of wondering, well, with everything that's going on with the economy and inflation, is it still a good time to buy a home? And here in this infographic, I want to offer two perspectives that you should definitely consider when you're, pondering whether you should still buy or not. Well, the first thing is that homeownership helps protect you from inflation. And here's how that's so. Wondering if it makes sense to buy a home today with inflation this high. Here's two things to consider. When other costs go up due to inflation, buying a home helps you keep your monthly housing expense steady. Okay, and here's how we're able to determine that. Not only will buying today help you begin to build equity, a fixed rate mortgage can stabilize your monthly housing costs for the long term, even while other expenses continue to rise, as has been the case in the past few years. And this comes from Freddie Mac. Okay, so I can see the logic in this because when you secure a fixed rate mortgage, okay, that principal and interest amount is fixed generally for 30 years. So, and that's commonly, you could get a 15-year mortgage, but most people take them out for 30 years. So you're guaranteed that housing expense is going to be the same for 30 years. Where else could you get a guarantee like that on any other expense in life in general? Where there's clearly an evidence that, inflation has gone up, so everything else around value has gone up. However, if you're able to keep that housing expense, fixed, that's definitely a benefit. So consider that. The second thing that you want to consider is that if you're renting, it's very likely that your landlord will increase your rent over time. I think that's pretty normal, right? And this graph I thought was pretty interesting. Does all the research for us, and this is through my blog, which I can put the link in the comments so you guys want to read more about it. But rents increase with inflation most years, okay? And they go back to 1973, so for the past 50 years. And the blue line here shows us how high inflation has gone. Crazy to think that in 1980, okay, inflation had gone up as much as 12%. That's crazy. So here we're at like 6%. Let's hope it never gets to 12. But the point of it is that the rent growth, okay, is the orange line. It kind of follows the same pattern as the blue line, the inflation rate. So if the inflation is going to continue to go up, it's likely that rents will continue to go up as well. So by having a fixed rate mortgage, again, like we talked about, you're protecting yourself from this predicament, from that concern. So I think it's really still a very good idea to purchase a home. And the best way to know that is to get pre-qualified and have a conversation with us, because there could be a lot of other things that are happening with your scenario that that will also need to be considered for us to know whether it's a good time. But generally, because of these two things, it would be a really good thing to do. And according to a recent survey, 65% of landlords say that they plan on raising their rent for any of their properties within the next 12 months. So when inflation is high, it's up, having a stable housing payment can be helpful. So let's connect so we can get you guys started on the journey of homeownership. I'm going to link the blog here for you guys. When you're in here, have a look, because there's also a download. It's a free things to consider when buying a home, free guide. So please go ahead and check that out. And that's what I have.
Well, and one thing I'll say is, why are, like, if the landlords who bought these homes have a fixed payment on their home, why are they increasing the rent? The reason, and a huge reason, is because they don't have that discount on their property taxes that you can have on a primary residence. And what I'll say is that as values have gone up, and if you own a home, then you have seen that the value of your home has increased. They don't have the luxury, when you own a second home or investment property, to lock in their taxes at the value in which they bought it. So every single year, their taxes are reassessed at the current value. So if their tax bill when they bought it was $1,300 a year, it's very possible, with the market and the home values these days, that their tax bill is now $2,800 a year, $2,500. So they are now eating an additional couple $100s a month because their taxes have gone up. Therefore, they pass that on to the person renting the home. Also, too, let's say apartments now know that they can charge more money for rent because there's such a high demand in our areas. That being said, landlords then are going to match the market. Just like houses, just because you bought your house and now it's worth $150,000 more, you're not going to sell it for what you bought it for if you can sell it for the higher price. So landlords are going to do the same thing. So this is a real thing. And I can tell you that somebody I know was looking at a studio apartment in the exact same complex in 2016. That studio apartment was $600 a month. They went back to go and look at renting the exact same one, and it is now $1,100 a month. So that would be something, if you were in an apartment, they would be raising the rent. And those of you who are renting, I know, have seen this. So sorry for the little tangent, but just to back up what you're saying, this is legitimate, and you don't have to worry about that if you get a mortgage.
Absolutely. So that's how we can help you guys. If this is something that you're like, okay, well, I wonder if I qualify for a mortgage, It's very easy. You just get in touch with us. And then what happens is Delaney will start off a loan application, which is typically the very first step. You want to get pre-qualified. Anytime you're serious about buying anything, you would want to know how you're going to pay for it. If not, you're just window shopping. And it's okay if you're window shopping. We all have to start out peeking. But if you're serious about taking a move and making this happen, then you want to get pre-qualified. And the process is super easy and it's free. And all you got to do is just make the effort to make the connection. And I've got Delaney's phone number scrolling on the bottom of the screen. So you get pre-qualified. That's where it starts. And then once she pre-approves you, then I take that pre-approval letter and then I take you out home shopping, taking into consideration the things that are important to you and also the sales price that we've been pre-approved for, which is the reason why it's so important to get the pre-approval first, because it really sheds a lot of light into what I am going to be able to share with you, like the right type of home, so that we don't waste a whole bunch of time looking at homes that you might not pre-qualify for or that are not within the things that are important to you. So there is a process to all of this, so that way we can save time and make it painless. And it can definitely be done.
Yes.
All right, girly.
Yes. So today I have the benefits of using a mortgage broker. So this is a very extensive topic. I'm going to consolidate it down and give you guys an overview. So what is a mortgage broker? That is the first thing that I want to go over. And there are a lot of different terms and a lot of different ways you can obtain a mortgage. You can go to a bank where their main bread and butter is the interest that they're making off of daily banking, checking, savings, money market accounts, things like that. They are going to make more money on those things than they would make on a mortgage, and how the, behind the scenes works. So if you have a business, what is making you the most money is going to get the most resources. So just something to keep in mind, that typically banks have slightly tougher or more stringent guidelines. So if you are in a situation where you have a more unique situation, your credit score is a little lower, they really, because they are going on the other side with daily banking, they don't typically service the loans that are not top-notch, 20% down, those types of loans. That being said, that it is a great option for some people, but just something to keep in mind. It's going to take longer. The underwriting team is not as experienced. So that's your bank route. Then you have a lender. A lender is going to have their set of guidelines. So they're going to have their FHA, their VA guidelines, but they have that one set of guidelines because they are one company. So they have competitive rates, but again, they have the base VA guidelines, but they have overlays, additional requirements in a lot of instances. So their full resources are on the lending side. That's what they do. So you don't have as many delays and things as a bank, but you have one rate, one guideline. That's kind of a lender. When you go to the broker side, we're signed up with 30 lenders. There is no difference to the customer experience whatsoever. The experience is the same. I've worked at a lender and I've worked in the wholesale. The difference is we go and we shop the best rate for you. We shop the best program for you. We have 30 lenders with different guidelines. The one thing I say when I compare this is, let's say that you go get a couch. You could get a couch from Rooms To Go, or you could go to an interior designer and say, this is what I'm looking for. And they have 30 different wholesale wholesale couch makers that they can go shop for you and say, this is the best couch to fit you. And this is the price. Most people say, well, do I have to pay you to do this experience? And the answer is no. Just like if you were to buy a couch, that price is worked in to the couch, just like the price is worked into your mortgage, same as going anywhere else. So this gives you a lot more options, a lot more flexibility. So that being said, that is the benefit of using a mortgage broker. Hopefully I explained that correctly. We also have most competitive rates because we have 30 lenders to shop for you, not just our one route. So a lot of people say, well, I've heard mortgage brokers, it's completely different. Zero difference to the customer. The only thing is we don't have in-house underwriting. We go to the company for that, but that benefit is for me to shop around for you. And I also have lenders that go down to 500 credit score. Most lenders are 580, most banks are 640. So just different things to look at. We also have the ability to close faster. So if you're in a time crunch, broker is the way to go. And that is how we got our deal closed in 3 weeks versus the contract timeline of a month. So I know that was a lot of information, but long story short, a broker gives you more flexibility, more speed, and more options. So in a better rate. So just something to think of that is out there. And I know that you have had a lot of customers who maybe start out getting pre-approved with a bank or a lender, and you just give them all the options. And a lot of times I talk to them and their response is, holy moly, like you gave me a much better option and a more customized option. How did you do that? And I run through this with them quickly and they're like, I am so glad that I got connected with you. So just a little behind the scenes, but if you're looking to get pre-approved, let me know. And that's kind of my spiel for today.
That's awesome. Well, it's absolutely true. I love how you're able to shop for them with more than one lender as opposed to just going to one individual source. Like, it just makes the whole experience so much better for them. I also like to, explain it when I'm talking to a first time home buyer and they're like, well, should I go with a lender or a mortgage broker? And I think of it like when you're going to shop for an airline ticket. The couch was amazing, and also the airline ticket too. Like if you go to a Delta counter, they're gonna sell you a Delta ticket because you're in the Delta counter. But if you go to somewhere like Expedia, for example, or Travelocity or something like that, then you can get airline tickets from Delta, from American Airlines, from Spirit, and then you can shop and see rates, but also schedules and all these other things. And that's exactly what you do. You shop and see, what's going to work out better for them in terms of the rates, in terms of who has better terms of that mortgage for those buyers. You just give them so many more options, and it automatically just sets them up in a much more advantageous situation, I think.
I'm going to ditch the couch and use the airline because that's 5 times better. But yes, exactly. Like going on Google and being able to put your filters in and see all the options versus going to Delta. That is exactly how it works. And people think, oh gosh, I'm going through a third company. No, at the end of the day, you're using Delta. This just gives you a lot more options. So, but yes, thank you for adding that because that is a good one.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for today. Oh, and anything fun happening in Jacksonville this weekend?
Yes, I got some 3 unique ones, but we're going to go through them really quickly. So the first, there is a UFC fight night. So if you're into UFC, little secret, I love UFC. It is one of my favorite things. So it is tomorrow from 3 to 7. So it's earlier than it usually is. It's at the VyStar Memorial Arena. Super fun. Tickets are still on sale, not super expensive. So if this is something you would like, maybe you think your kiddos would like, if you got little boys that love wrestling, super fun thing to do. And it's a really fun experience. I've been to a couple that are here. So tomorrow, 3 to 7, and tickets are available.
Nice.
Next one is the Beaches Explorers. So I did a sound bath, which is with the bowls, and they go around the bowls, and it's supposed to
heard of that. How is it?
It was actually a very cool experience, and it does do something with the neuro pathways in your brain and hits them in a different frequency. It was really cool. I just wanted to try it out. It was at my yoga studio, but they have one that is tomorrow, 7:30 to 8:30, literally on the beach. So you will have the waves, you'll have all of that. So it just does say arriving a little early, and you can pre-register on this link. So we'll put the links down below, but it's literally right on the beach. So a really fun experience that's a little different, maybe for a girls' night.
Sounds awesome.
And then this one I have noticed we've talked about a couple times, so it must be a reoccurring thing, maybe once a quarter, but it's a 904 pop-up at the Seawalk Pavilion, also at the beach. This is going to be I believe the 26th would be Monday. So, right? 23rd, 24th, 25th,
Yeah,
26th. Yes, I promise I do numbers for a living. So Monday, 11 to 7, which I know that it's summer, so that's probably why it's on a Monday, but 200 local creative artisans. You're going to have all sorts of it's kind of like a farmer's market. And then also food trucks. So just a fun thing to do if you got kiddos out of school, would be really fun to go. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So that's Monday, 11 to 7, also at Jax Beach. And that's what I got.
Awesome. 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 All right. Well, thank you so much, Delaney. All right, guys. So that's what we have for our show today. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Remember to share this. Please do share. You never know how this information could help someone. And it's really, truly the best way that you can help us. So please share. We appreciate that. And until next time, remember to be kind to one another. And we'll see you on our next video. Take care.